Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mike Marlboro. Welcome back to Wallet Reset. And in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to increase your email open rates, all right? So, before I get started, I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notifications so you don't miss out on any content from here on out. Also, if at any given point during this video you feel like I've said something that opens your mind to something brand new, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave a question in the comment section below. So, increasing your email open rate, okay? One of the most important things, really the most important thing, the only thing that you really have to focus on and that you must really nail when you're focused on open rates is writing the best email subject line that you can find, all right? Your email headline is the most important thing because when you, I'm sure that most of you guys who have experience with email marketing, most of you guys will probably understand that when you are writing to your leads or to your customers, the first thing they see in their email is they see the subject line. They see who it's from and the subject line. So, how you increase your email open rate is by doing two things really, but the first thing I'm going to talk about, and really the most important thing that I want you to get out of this, is that it's all about the headline. So how do you write a headline that jumps out at your customer and makes them want to click? So the first thing you have to do is you have to understand basically a pain point. Right now, there's a lot of different people that tell you different ways to do it, and there's a lot of people out there who will just give you headlines, right? And I've obviously researched these people's headlines, I've used these people's headlines, and I will tell you this, none of them work as well as you writing a headline that is specifically for your audience, right? Now, I've used numerous people's outlines of headlines and like the fill-in-the-blank headlines, and they do okay. And if you feel like you don't know how to start or where to start, it's a good start point. One group that I use a lot is Digital Marketer, right? And that's by Ryan Deiss. So Ryan Deiss, if you guys don't know, Ryan Deiss has been around forever. He's a genius when it comes to marketing. He has a good team over at Digital Marketer. I'm not associated with them, but if you want to learn more about how to write a email headline based on a template, you should check out his website. But I'm going to give you my framework that I go through every time that I'm going to write a new email so that the headline is bar none. Now, with these email headlines, with my formula, I'm getting around 33% open rate for every email. All right, now that's the average. That doesn't mean every email that I have is 33% or higher. That's just the average. So some of them are like 20-something%. Some of them are, I honestly, depending on which ones they are, might be up to like 62%. So ultimately, the whole goal that I'm trying to give you, though, is to focus on one thing, right? So when you write your headline, the one thing that you really need to understand is that your audience has a pain point, right? Now, all of these pain points that you're going to focus on don't necessarily have to be just specific for your audience, right? In terms of like, so for example, if I'm talking about email marketing, for example, right? I can actually use my headline to introduce email marketing to people by leaving you kind of guessing what I'm talking about. So the best way to do that would be to, instead of saying the number one, for example, with this video, I said increase your email open rate, right? That's because I want you who are looking for ways to increase your open rate to see this video. But people who have no idea what email marketing is, I'm going to have to introduce you to email marketing by making you curious, all right? And the best curiosity typically comes from saying something about like the number one reason why you're not making consistent income, or this is causing you to fail in your business, or something like that. And so it's like they have to open to find out what you're talking about. But if they already have an understanding of what you're speaking about, right, then what you would do is simply make an email email headline that simply states their pain, right? And what I do, it's more of a process. It's not just like leaving a curious headline, right? It's more of a process. So what I do every time I write a new email is I go around on like forums, I go on blogs, I go even on YouTube videos, and I'll look in the comments, or I'll go on to, depending on what your subject is, or whatever your email is actually about. You may even go to like Amazon or eBay, or just different websites that people will go to either buy something or to talk about something that they're struggling with. And then what you can do is just mine through all of the comments, all of the points where people are asking questions, and just understand what the question is, right? And what the pain of the question is. So a good example would be like, if somebody's like, hey, I really want to improve my open rate. For some reason, I'm not getting anybody to open it up, right? So the pain isn't actually the open rate, right? The pain is that they've got an email list and they're being ignored, right? And they're being ignored because of something. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you have to actually kind of ask yourself. And the best way to do that is to be like, well, why are they looking for this, right? And then why is that a problem? And then why does that problem exist? And you have to ask yourself why a bunch of times, to be honest with you. And you really got to be patient, because it's something that, for me to write an email, sometimes I'll literally sit and study and research for like 2-3 hours just so that I can get that headline down and get my content for that email. I know exactly what I'm going to say. I know exactly what the hook is, so that when I write this email, it just flows out. All right. And you want to be as prepared as possible and as confident as possible to know that you are helping the people that you're sending this email to. So once you have a pain point, right? For example, somebody wants to improve their email open rate, right? And the way that I would phrase my headline is not increase your open rate necessarily, even though that can work too. If you want to deal with their pain, you know that their pain is that they're being ignored. You know that their pain is that no one will open their email, and it's because people are either not interested in what they have to say, or they're not phrasing it in a way where people see what they get, right, out of it. So, and that's actually more common. Most of the time we write from the perspective of of us, and not from the perspective of our audience. So what I would say is, if I wanted to get your attention for email open rate, you know what I would say? Is I would say something like, your email list hates you. Here's why. Right? Something like that. And so that has two things. It has your pain, right? Because everybody hates being ignored. And then it also has curiosity. So I'm now incentivizing you to open up, and I've hit your pain point, so you're more likely to open it up. Now that's just something off the top of my head. I'm sure that if I gave myself a minute or two, I could actually find something that would blow that out of the water. But you get the point. Is I use a pain point. Now, in moving forward, right, when you write your email headlines, always focus on keeping it short, right, so that it's like you want them to read it very quickly, right? Even if it's something like, I'll tell you an email headline I did for insurance, right? I said something about writing to the commercial insurance customers or prospects. I said, what if your insurance is too low, right? What if the payment is too low, right? Now, most people are like, what do you mean, what if the payment is too low? Everybody wants a small payment. But the problem that they don't know exists that can bite them later is that your payments can be too low and you're not properly insured and all this other stuff. So you get the point. Like it hits them in a pain that they didn't know they had. Ultimately, it's all about testing, right? Because not every one of them, like I said, I average 33%, but I also have one that I wrote 2 weeks ago that had a 5% open rate. So you're gonna have issues here and there that you're gonna have to get better at this. This is a skill. But another thing, and this is the second part that I was telling you about, another thing that's very important for you to know how to do when you want people to open an email, especially an email in the future, right? This is especially going to be good if you have like a product that you're launching, or you're doing a campaign where you're trying to build people's interest and their desire for the product, right? So what you would do is essentially say, hey guys, blah, 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 introduce the problem, right? And introduce the fact that there's a solution, right? And then on the next email, or at the end of the email, you say, hey, I want to give you such and such and such, but I don't want to make this email too long. I'm going to send you an email next week, or I'm going to send you an email tomorrow or 3 days from now, and I'm going to go all into it. So if you want that, be sure to stay tuned to your email inbox for the next email, right? Now, what I've done is I've given them a cliffhanger. So most of you guys who have ever grown up watching like those weekly cartoon series or a TV show, what they usually do is they'll have like an emotional up and down throughout. And then at the end, they finally like, there's something huge that happens, right? And it's over, right? So it's like, there's this big, like, what's going to happen next week. And one thing about us as humans is we don't like not being in the know. We don't like having a little bit of information and then not being able to finish the information, right? We want to close the gap, right? And so what that means is that you have to use that to your advantage. So the best way to do that is to really, really, really hit on the pain point, right? Hit on the pain point hard. Right? If I write a 10-sentence email, 5 or 6 of those sentences are going to be me talking about the pain that they're going to go through if they don't solve the problem. And then I introduce the solution by introducing maybe how quickly somebody else or how whatever can help them. And then I say, hey, I want to tell you all about it, but I'm running out of time. I'll send you this email tomorrow or whenever, and I'll explain all about it. So I'll see you then, right? That email is something that is going to like literally take people from being like, okay, well, such and such sent me something, to now they're addicted. Now they're like, I got to figure out what's going on because I got to solve this problem, right? And he told me a little bit about how it can help me, and I'm antsy for like that help, but I got to wait, right? We are not patient beings. So cliffhangers, right? First of all, I want you to focus on this. If you get nothing else out of this video, please, 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 please focus on doing enough research to write a killer headline. That headline for your email is going to be the most important thing. Find out the pain points, find out what their goal is, find out, even I go as deep as to find out the common belief, because if you can give them a controversial belief where it's not necessarily true, but you know that everybody believes it. So for example, here's one, it takes money to make money, right? That's common belief, but in reality, it takes whatever it takes to make money. It's like if I go up and walk to somebody and say, hey, I want to sell you a cake, right? This is how I taught my son his first business. It's like, go out with a piece of paper and a pen, write down and just say, hey, do you want to buy a cake? They got these flavors. People say yes, people say no. If people say yes, you write down their name, you write down their phone number, And then when you make the cakes, you call them up, you say, hey, I got your cake. You give them the cake, and you already got the money because they gave you the money ahead of time. So essentially, that's what you want to, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but essentially, that's what you got to understand is that you have to use controversy. You have to use pain. You have to use their goal as kind of like bait, right? And then once you have their attention, right, give them a cliffhanger, right? Because if you give them that cliffhanger, you're gonna start to get more open rates. You're gonna get more loyal people to open up for you, and always focus on having the best headline you can and being enticing and being persuasive in your writing. So that's it for today. I'm going to end it now. By the way, if you guys want to start a business or you want to get going, make your first sale within the next maybe day or two, go ahead and check out Starter's Formula in the description. That's a course I put together to show you step by step how to do everything that you need to do to start a business. It's not everything you need to do to run a business forever, but it will get you moving, okay? Anyway, that's it, guys. Be sure to subscribe if this video helped you out. Bell for notifications, of course. And give me a thumbs up if you guys got anything from this. Now, if you get a chance, right, I want you to write an email headline underneath here that got your attention over the last couple of days or weeks, right? And that's going to get your gears rolling. So write an email headline in the comments so that you can start to master email open rates and email headlines. Anyway, that's it, guys. See you next time. Peace.